Yo, what's up, guys? Massive win tonight for the Toronto Raptors, guys, defeating the Miami Heat 121-95, guys. Now, what a fun game this was tonight. I was lucky enough to be able to be going down to Scotiabank Arena to watch the game tonight, guys. So I was able to see the Raptors and Heat live tonight, and great game tonight for the Raptors. Other than the first quarter, the Raptors handled business tonight, really made it difficult for the Miami Heat tonight, guys. Raptors defense really improved, I felt, after the first quarter. The Raptors and the Heat were really trading baskets back and forth in the first quarter. It was a really tight first quarter, guys. Raptors did some good things offensively. Miami did as well. It was a 32-27 first quarter. Things were pretty tight, I felt, after that one quarter. You had Davion Mitchell, former Raptor, coming in. He had a really bright quarter. He had like 8 or 9 points in that first quarter there. But you also had guys like Brandon Ingram, who started off the game really well, who obviously had a rough game against the Celtics on Sunday. Obviously, Scotty Barnes needed to have a big game as well because he also had a rough night against the Celtics, guys. And both those guys both came up really big tonight in this game. B.I. and Scotty had 15 and 14 at half. B.I. had 15, Scotty had 14 at half. Both those guys, they really carried the workload for the Raptors offensively, guys, combining for 29 points in the first half, guys. But I felt the Raptors did some really good things adjustments-wise, especially defensively. Miami was making some three-pointers. You have guys like Wiggins and Powell and Hero. Those guys there on the perimeter, obviously very dangerous, can spread out the floor. You obviously got guys like Kalaware, of course, who can obviously spread out the floor as well, get down low in the poster. The Raptors had Jakob Poeltl and Bam Adebayo a few times, and I said to myself, that cannot happen. You need to either have Mom or Scotty on Bam Adebayo. The Raptors didn't make adjustments, didn't make changes. Bam had a really quiet game tonight, so Raptors did a good job tonight neutralizing him. I thought the Raptors did a great job in the second, third, and fourth quarters, really playing tight defense, not letting Miami get as many open shots. Sure, Miami did have some shots here and there, but I felt the Raptors boxed out well enough, closed out Miami shooters, didn't give them too much in the second half especially. Raptors were completely dominant in that second half, guys. Fourth quarter was really good. Third quarter was really good. Second quarter was solid, guys. Like I said, Scotty and B.I. were fantastic in the first half. Then you have guys like, obviously, Jacoby Walter. You have CMB and Jamal Shed. Those three guys there are fantastic. Defensively, we obviously also saw Emmanuel Quickly returning to the lineup. The guy has obviously been out for quite some time with plantar fasciitis. Quickly only played 17 minutes tonight, guys. But you know what? With a guy like Quickly, obviously coming off an injury like this, a plantar fasciitis injury is an injury that doesn't go away very easily. So you knew that he wasn't going to play very much. Only played 17 minutes tonight, I'm really sure. I even told him, I actually ran into Emmanuel Quickly tonight. I actually met him, and I told him to get his foot ready for the playoffs or the play-in because we're going to really need him down the stretch. So he told me, yes, sir, as well. So love that interaction I had with Quick. Love what he said to me. Love what he said, just getting ready for the playoff push, of course. So you got an important game on Thursday against the Heat as well. So hopefully Quickly is a little bit more ready for that game, though, guys. But other than that, you had Mamu had 6 points, so 2 or 3 shooting from the field. I love when Mamu plays with Jakob Poeltl, which he did a little bit tonight as well. So when Jakob is with Mamu on the floor, I think Mamu's game is a lot more easier. He's able to spread the floor more, able to drive the lane when he wants, has that big man there to rebound for him if he misses a 3 or makes a 3. So I love what I saw from Mamu tonight. Obviously didn't have too much points tonight, but really liked what I saw from him tonight because he's an absolutely massive fella. I met him as well tonight. He is massive, man. He is a big man, but really nice guy as well. Love his attitude towards the fans. Great to see. Everybody was great towards the fans tonight. B.I., Jamal Shed, RJ, everybody was fantastic. Yak, everybody was great that I met tonight, guys. But you had, like I said, Scott and B.I. were doing some great things. Wiggins was leading the scoring for 11 points for the Heat at halftime, guys. Raptors shooting 50% from the field, 47% from 3, 7 of 15 from 3. So the Raptors were doing some good things with the basketball shooting-wise. B.I. had like three-pointers tonight, so B.I. was really shooting the ball well. Jacoby had some three-pointers. Mamu obviously had a couple threes as well, guys. Miami was shooting 36% from the field, 25% from 3, guys. So in that second quarter, Miami's shooting really went down the gutter a little bit. Even in the second half, their shooting wasn't that very good. The first quarter, they were keeping up with the Raptors. They were shooting the ball well, Like I said, Mitchell was doing most of the damage, but the Heat were staying around. But the Raptors just made adjustments, did some really good things, I felt, in the first half, guys, and adjusted into the second half as well. Like, Raptors had 34 points in the paint compared to Miami's 20. So Jakob did some really good things getting down low in the post there. And same with Mamu, of course, guys. Raptors had less fast break points than Miami, surprisingly enough, and points off turnovers as well. Raptors had 7, Miami had 5. So obviously we want to see that limited a little bit. Raptors have 14 assists on 25 field goals, so that's good as well. Not as many assists as we usually see from the Raptors in the first half on made field goals, but you know what? The Raptors are doing some great things, guys. Are rebounding Miami 32-26, getting on the glass. So that was obviously great to see as well. And I felt the second half, guys, was a little bit more of a formality for the Raptors. The Heat didn't really do very much to challenge the Raptors. Raptors kept on moving the ball fast, finding lanes, finding holes, drawing fouls. They did some really good things tonight, guys. Scotty and B.I. did some fantastic things tonight. I thought B.I. and Scotty were the two best players offensively for the Raptors tonight. B.I. finishes off with 23. Scotty finishes off with 25 tonight, guys. You had R.J. Barrett with 16. Jakob Poeltl had 17. So those guys there were productive offensively tonight. You didn't really need some big games tonight, of course. You did the damage, by playing tight defense, not letting Miami get too many open shots tonight, and you buried your chances, the Raptors. They buried their opportunities, got to the foul line, and they were moving the basketball really well at times, I felt, in this game tonight, guys. And then you get guys like, of course, CMB, Jamal Shad, Jacoby Walter, like, these guys here, they didn't have the most productive night points-wise, but, man, defensively, they were solid tonight. You had CMB tonight, guys, only playing 19 minutes tonight. CMB was a plus 17. Mamu was a plus 23 tonight. Jamal Shad was a plus 27. Jacoby was a plus 18. RJ was a plus 16 tonight. So those guys there were doing some really good things tonight for the Raptors, guys. Even though Mamu finished off the game with only 11 points, guys. Mamu finishes off with 11 points. Jacoby finishes off with 9. Jamal Shad only had 3 points, but 11 assists. And I even told Jamal, keep feeding the boys, brother. You're doing a great job facilitating the basketball. So hopefully he continues to do that. I just want him to make more threes, make his shot, be more consistent with the threes. But other than that, I loved what I saw from Jamal Shad on the defensive side of the ball. Moving the basketball. Obviously, quickly only played 17 minutes tonight. So Jamal carried most of the workload. Scotty played a little bit of point guard, but not too much tonight, guys. And then guys like CMB as well. This kid here defensively, he is an absolute freight train defensively, man. Just such a great defender. Can guard the 3, 4, and 5 position. He's just a solid all-around player. CMB, obviously, offensively, he needs to get a little bit better. He's a little bit raw, of course, but, man, he is such a nice player. If you put him in a redraft, he'd probably be a top 5 pick. That's how good CMB has been for the Raptors this year. Obviously, he's had some injuries, of course, but he has been spectacular for the Raptors this year, guys, especially on the defensive side of the floor. And Jacoby continues to shoot the ball well. Even though Jacoby shot 3 of 8 tonight, having 9 points, he's only going to get better with time, guys. I feel, his form is really improved, I feel, since the All-Star break. It just looks a lot more cleaner, a lot more smoother. Really like what I've seen from Jacoby Walter, especially defensively. Offensively, he's getting better every game. But mainly defense, he's just been absolutely fantastic, guys, to say the least. But Miami had no answer tonight for the Raptors, guys. Andrew Wiggins, making his homecoming to Toronto, of course, having 24 points. Hero had 14. Norman Powell, of course, former Raptor, had 14. Those are the only 3 guys in double figures. Other than that, like I said, Davion Mitchell had 9 points in the first quarter. That's all he had for the rest of the game. So Raptors made great adjustments. Give credit to Coach Darko. Raptors set a lot of screen and rolls. A lot of back cuts as well in this game. R.J. Barrett did a lot of that tonight as well. Loved what I saw from him tonight, guys. So Raptors, man, this was a massive win for them tonight, guys. They needed this win tonight. Miami's obviously locked in a play now after this loss tonight. I read also on X tonight that Miami had a players-only meeting. It got pretty intense, I heard. So they know that they're in big trouble right now. They're going to have to play in a play-in. Raptors are back in 6th place tonight because Philly lost to San Antonio last night. Thank God the Boston Celtics got business done in the 4th quarter. Found a way to beat the Charlotte Hornets, guys. Keeping them at least another half game back, of course. So Raptors just got to get their business done. Beat Miami on Thursday night. They got to win that game against Miami Thursday night, guys. They got to stay on pace with Atlanta, of course. Obviously want to stay in that top 6 spot. Avoid the play-in. Avoid playing a team like an Orlando, a Charlotte, or Miami, of course, guys. Let's just hope to God that the Raptors can find a way to beat Miami Thursday. The Knicks is going to be an absolutely massive mountain to climb. I do not expect them to beat the Knicks. It'll all come down to hopefully beating Brooklyn on Sunday afternoon or Sunday night, whenever that timing of the game is. But I'm really hoping to God the Raptors can find a way to win these next couple games, find a way into the top 6, make the playoffs, and then we'll see what happens there, guys. I don't expect very much to happen with the Raptors, of course. We obviously seen the issues they have against top 10 teams in the NBA, but this was a very important win tonight, a very clutch win for the Raptors tonight to win that Would have been an absolute disaster if they didn't win tonight, guys. So Raptors finished off shooting 50% from the field, 43% from three, guys, 69% from free throws. Obviously, want to see that a little bit better, of course. But Raptors out rebounded Miami 62-53. Raptors did a great job with 23 second chance points, 70 points in the paint compared to Miami's 34. Just dominant down low in the post, guys, and in the paint for the Raptors, guys, having 34 assists on 49 made field goals compared to Miami's 26. Raptors have 15 offensive rebounds compared to Miami's 10. 18 fast break points, 18 points off turnovers, guys. This was an absolutely massive win for the Raptors. A mature win for them, to say the least. You know, after losing that game to Boston, you come home, have a day off. You know, you want to have a good response, you know, and find a way to win this game against a Miami Heat team that is obviously a little bit below you in the standings. You didn't want them to gain confidence. Winning this game tonight would have been a disaster because there would have been even more added pressure on the Raptors to win on Thursday if they didn't win this game tonight. So, luckily enough, they won this game tonight. Hopefully they do that job again on Thursday, guys. You know, massive win for the Raptors, guys. You obviously had Miami as well at the end of the game. They're doing some bullshit at the end of the game there. So clearly they're dealing with some things inside the locker room right now. They're not having a great year, of course, other than Bam scoring 83, guys. You know, I don't know how that man scored 83 points. Bam had about tonight at 7 points, guys, on 2 of 13 shooting. Wow. Wow, we did a good job defending him tonight, guys. But man, oh man, I cannot believe that guy there scored 83 points. But man, good win for the Raptors tonight. It was a great win, great night in general, guys. You know, got to meet some players, got to see how massive these guys are in person. My Lord, you know, Yak, Mamu, even Grady Dick is huge. You know, he's like 6'4" for God's sakes. You know, when you see these guys in person, you say to yourself, holy shit, man, these guys really are massive men. Really big guys. B.I. is absolutely huge. Love that I got to dap a few guys like Jamal and Quick and B.I. It was great. High-fiving Jakob and Mamu. It was a fantastic night, guys, to say the least, all around for us Raptor fans, guys. Love your guys' thoughts and opinion on this one, guys. So click like this video, subscribe if you guys want to see more content. Go Raptors, go as always, guys. See you guys on the next episode of Raptors Unfiltered. Ciao, guys.